Hey there, Lynne and Joseph with Salt Marsh Properties, and we are here to bring you another exciting video about some real estate stats we want to talk about. So first of all, happy November, happy Gratitude Month. I hope everyone has awesome Thanksgivings and travels safely and everything. And we're so grateful that we've been in this business for this long and we've been able to help a lot of y'all buy and sell. So one of the things that we just had was a citywide meeting with Keller Williams, and we got in the room and talked all about the real estate market, of course, the strategies and everything that we've kind of been dealing with. It's been kind of an interesting market. And so, of course, what we love to do is then take all that, bring it to y'all in a video and talk a little bit about it and break it down. So what we're going to talk about today are a couple of things. Your pricing and positioning in the market when you're trying to sell. Then how that affects seller mindset, how it affects buyer mindset, and then overall the big picture. So Joseph, why don't you break down some of those pricing and position strategies we talked about?
Yeah, so of course, most of the news is trying not to give great news as it relates to the real estate market. And one of the big reports that came out, or they weren't even reports, they were just news articles about massive amounts of price reductions. And they make that sound like it was really indicative of the values of homes, which it was not. And we'll wrap up with kind of what the overall picture is. But one of the big things we want to look at is there were a lot of price reductions, right? And so we want to look at two things. We want to look at for how much a home sold and then how long it took it to sell. So the two stats that we go through quite a bit are what the median list price to actually sales price was, meaning how much of their original list price did a seller get when they sold their home, and then how long it took them to do that. So we did see a little bit of a decline year over year. In Q3 last year, sellers were getting about 97.5% of their original list price. And this year that dropped a little bit to 97%. Not a huge amount and also not a big drop if you think about it, right? But there was a drop. And then the other thing that we talk about is how long it took them to sell. And that number actually crept up. It was 25 days in Q3 in 2024, and it's actually 33 days. That's median days on market for a home when it went on the market to get a contract that actually sold. All of these statistics are based on actual sales that happened in Q3. So those are the two big stats right there, list price to sales price, and then how long it took the home to sell.
And back to the price reduction, at the end of the day, those can happen, but we really want to keep you out of that chasing the market kind of pattern.
Yeah.
So whenever you're consulting about what you want to do, we'll always talk about that and make sure that those two things align, your timing and what the market's timing could be, right? And the second thing we're going to talk about is the seller's mindset about that. Joseph, tell us.
Yeah, well, so you brought up a really good point about the price reduction. Those stats that I gave earlier actually do not exist for actual closings, right? Those include all properties that close. What it does not do is break it down specifically to sellers who priced their home correctly, and then those who had to do a price reduction. And so that's where we see a big change in those, because what we find is on those two specific stats is number one, first of all, 49%, almost half of the properties that closed had to do a price reduction, right? So that is saying that it did happen, right? And when that happened, what happened is the average list price to sales price went from 97% down to 93%, right? So what that means is if you had to do a price reduction, you are now getting significantly less for your original list price. The other statistic that is just overwhelming is when you did not have to reduce the price of your home, you actually got a contract on your home, a median of 7 days on the market. So if you priced your home correctly and it sold in Q3, you actually got a contract a median of a week, 7 days on the market. However, if you had to do a price reduction, that went from 7 days to 76 days. So again, we're seeing about an 11 times difference in pricing your home correctly the first time versus not having to price it. So the good news on all of this though, is over half the market actually priced their home correctly, got a contract quickly, and actually got almost 99% of list price to sales price because they were priced correctly.
And that plays into the seller mindset and the buyer mindset that those are the two people who are doing the contract, right? And if you overprice and kind of chase the market, then you're missing buyers who've already moved on to find the homes that they know are right there in that good market value spot. And they're also going to leave money on the table. The sellers could, because of that reduction in list price to sales price. And then buyers are going to pay attention and start negotiating a little bit harder when they see those prices dropping, because they they're thinking the sellers are getting desperate. And those who priced right aren't desperate and aren't having to deal with maybe those many concession negotiations, right?
Yeah, 100%. And I said this earlier, and it actually was a little off. I was a little low. For when sellers did not have to reduce the price of their home, they actually got 100% of list price to sales price because they were not having to negotiate, right? They had the price set in the beginning. And to your point, buyers understand that. If you're going to go in early on a property that's just come on the market, you may know that if it's priced correctly, you're going to probably have to be pretty competitive with what you're paying on the house.
Exactly. And so the big picture is that we're still in a seller's market
100%.
with any price under $2 million, but strategy is so important, which is what we just talked about, the different ways that you must strategize with the help of your real estate agent. So anyway, that's kind of a not so quick, but overview of the end of Q3. So we want to position us all really well and successfully to start looking into 2026. So we're going to post up our information for other videos that we've done, our newsletter, our blogs, things that you might want to read and get familiar with before the end of the year. And if you ever need us, don't hesitate to call or text or email.
Absolutely.
Y'all have a wonderful Thanksgiving.